Hello, welcome back to the channel. So if you've watched my videos, you know I'm now building my bag. In the last video I did, I picked my driver for the first game of the season, which was, I think the votes came in and it ended up being the Cleveland. So that puts my bag up to 11 clubs. So that leaves me 3 clubs at the top end to decide. But the first thing I need to do first is gap my irons. I really only need to gap the 4 iron, but I want to gap them all and see if they're gapped correctly anyway. And then I'm going to decide between driver and 4 iron what fits in, whether that might be a 4 wood and a 3 hybrid, and then I may carry the 2 iron as an option off the tee, or I may go 3 wood, 5 wood, 7 wood, I don't know yet. So I'm going to gap my irons today and then make a decision on what clubs I'll be putting in the top in other videos. Right, so I've decided to put 2 wedges in the bag to start the season with at least. That's a 52 and a 58. So I'll be using, for the purpose of this, the Cleveland RTX Zipcore 58, because that's the only 58s I've got in. So that's what I shall be using in the first start of the season. Now I will probably get fit and change the 58. It possibly might even be a Cleveland, but I just want the gap in. So I'm using the Foresight gapping software, and we'll be starting with the lob wedge. So about average on that one. What's that carry? 103 yards, yeah, that's where I expect this to be. 104 yards is what I'm kind of expecting it to be as a yardage. A little bit on the fat side, which should carry similar yardage. Pretty good shot actually. Just felt a bit fat, 9.5 spin, 108, so that's a 103 and a 108. So about 105 is where I kind of expect this to be. And that's smack bang in the middle at 105, so yeah, exactly where I'm expecting that to be. So gap wedge will be a 52 for me. So my 58 will be my bunker shot as well, my bunker wedge. So that's 105, 120 to 125 is where I want this to be. And it's 122, I think that is 122. So yeah, it's right on the money for me, that. And that is a little bit further. Yeah, these are bang on for where I want them to be, 100%. So I think I've made the right decision with the wedges for the time being, at least to start the season with. The gapping is there of about 20 yards, so I can manipulate loft and sort of swing length to be able to change those yardages. There we go, that's a much better shot. Yeah, and it's falling in that window, which is perfect. Right, so now onto pitching wedge. Kind of, to keep that 20-yard gap with the wedges, I want this to be around sort of 140 to 145, I think, as an average would be nice. And that's 154. So it's spin for me. Definitely need to either change these irons or change these shafts, because they just don't work for me anymore because of the loft I'm producing, not producing enough spin. Yeah, it's like 154 again, 152 again, sorry. So there's going to be like a 27-yard, 30-yard gap on this, which isn't ideal, but I'll be changing my irons anyway, so I'm going to stick with the 52, 58. It's just going to be a bit of a big gap, unfortunately, I think, at this point. So 3 shots, all in the same window. Yeah, so it's about 150 an average with a pitching wedge. So I'm gapping these now, but when I change clubs, I expect these distances to come down because they're going too far with not enough spin. That's the problem. I don't mind the distance if the spin was up, but the spin isn't up. Like 9 iron. So about a 10-yard gap I want with this. It's a little bit better. Yeah, 160, that's better. That's where we want it to be, around the 160 mark. That's a much better strike. That'll be a much more respective shot. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's 172. Where does this distance come from? Do I even need to go above like 9 iron at the moment? That's a good shot. Where have we gone with that one? I can't see. It's about the same, isn't it? Right, 8 iron. Now, like anything's possible distance wise. 179 iron is just a joke. That's pretty similar to the 9, that 172. Yeah, it's pretty similar to the 9. Always, I've used these clubs for a while now and I've not checked the loft, so the loft could be getting bunched up a little bit. It's always worth doing a club MOT and it's something I've not done. That's the same distance, 172, isn't it? Yeah, so my 9 and 8 are bunching up a little bit here. So it's definitely worth looking at the loft of those two. A little bit better strike, and that's got it out at the high 170s, 175. So be interested to see how bunched they are. Right, so move on to 7 iron then. We're going to start getting a little bit more closer distances between the 7, 6, 5 and 4. So hook ball, that's about the distance where I'd want it to be. I've worked that hard on decreasing loft. I've arguably gone too far with it, and now it's trying to rein that back in a bit. Oh, that's a good shot, that's a good strike. 180. They're all around about the same distances, around the 180 mark. Okay, 6 iron. All right, it's a couple more clubs to go. 6 iron, probably around about 195, I'd guess. Oh, nailed that one. Absolutely nailed it. 214. Nailed it with no spin. Oh my God. 214 with a 6 iron. World commentator. 4 spin is pants. Oh, nailed that as well. A little bit better, more manageable, 200, but 133 ball speed. Spin, Lee. Spin, 12 launch angle. What a joke. That's a good strike. It's that hook again. That's where there's no spin. It's de-lofting it. Right, let's move on to 5. Right, 5 iron then. At this rate, I'll be producing 0 loft by the time I get to 4. A bit further forward. Come on. Oh, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Problem is, like with longer shafts, it's my comfort zone. It's where I can proper get after it. That one is just short of 210. That was out the middle. Yeah, that's much out the middle. Right, 4 iron, the one we really need to know. Now I know you're going to be saying they're going too far, they're going too left. I'm aware. I need to get out on a course and check these properly, because I don't know what's going on. But that is just ridiculous. Oh, nailed it. Nailed it. Centre of the club, 229. There we go, it's more like it. Where's that gone? Right, let's see what the averages are. Right, so let's look at the numbers then. So lob wedge to gap wedge, 19 yards. I want 20 yards because I'm only carrying 3 wedges, so that's fine. Gap wedge to pitching wedge, 25 yards. I think that's manageable. I don't think I'll be, if it was 150 away, I certainly wouldn't be hitting a pitching wedge. I don't think, 'cause it's a full out pitching wedge. Pitching wedge to 9 iron, 16 yards, and then 9 to 8 is 5. That says to me, there's something wrong with the loft on that 9 iron. I need to weaken it a bit. So I need to weaken that 9 iron a couple of degrees to bring that back in here, and then it will be the perfect yardage. But I haven't got a loft line machine here yet to be able to do that, but it's just something to make note of for the future. Then 8 to 7, 13 yards, fine. I want 10 to 15 yards. 7 to 6, 19 yards, a little bit too far, but I'm starting to get into the comfortable range of length of shaft, so that there's that distance. Then there's a 6 yard to the 5 at 211, and then an 8 to 220 for the 4 iron. So 220 for the 4 iron is perfect, I think, for where I want it to be. So I already know that this Cleveland Launcher Hybrid is 230 to 235 because I've tested it before in a previous test against a 5 wood. So I know that this is the yardage that I want it to go. So that then puts this next in line after the 4 iron at 230, let's say, so there's a 10-yard gap. So now I've got 2 spaces left. I've got 4 to lob wedge, putter, driver, and now the hybrid. That gives me 2 spaces left. So that's a 240 and a 250 club, there or thereabouts, I think, onwards. So I've got to now look, is that 240, 250, 260 range a 3 wood, 5 wood, or is it a 4 wood, 7 wood? I need to now test that in another video. But for the time being, that gapping works. I need to look at the 9 iron, but other than that, I think it's okay. You know, it's manageable. There's big gaps in the wedges, but I'm expecting that anyway because of the way I've set the wedges up. So next video will be me now looking at the top end of the bag. I've got 2 spaces left. The 2 iron is a possibility for, I think that's about 240, but that's a T club. That's not, I don't really like using it off the ground because it's got no loft and it's got no help. But it's a possibility, but it could be 4 wood, 2 iron, could be 3 wood, 5 wood, 3 wood, 7 wood, 4 wood, 7 wood. So that's the next video. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy following me on my journey to building my bag, at least for the start of the season, and follow me on my sort of destination to scratch if I ever get to play competition golf again. If you are enjoying these videos, please do give these videos a like. It means the world to me. It is just a little thumb down the bottom. If you could just click that, it also helps get these videos out there. It lets YouTube know that people are liking the video, but it also lets me know that you're enjoying these videos and that I can put more videos out like this. But for the time being, if you are new, please do drop a subscribe. Please comment below. Let me know what you think of that gapping session and what you think is it's too far. I know it's too far, but let's work with it anyway. But for the time being, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you all on the next video.